shades on.
That's kind of a douche move.
That's crazy, man.
Nah, I thought I would wear my glasses, but I was a little bit torn.
What?
Kind of like trying to choose between Metallica or listening to Korn.
Oh.
We're back on the Wayy Up podcast. My man Ron Killbourn.
Hey, all right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That was good.
I like it. You know, you took two of my favorite bands and you made it rhyme.
Yeah.
My name. I love it.
Yeah. Who are your favorite bands? That's how we became cool, man. Just because of our music taste.
I can't help but talk about, you know, what you're wearing right now. I literally just came off of that awesome tour, and so did you. I went and saw AC/DC in Vegas.
Yeah, I was at the Pasadena one.
Yeah, I was at the Vegas one a week after WrestleMania 41. That was a fire week. That was amazing.
Yeah.
You're telling me one Saturday I can see, like, you know, one of the greatest showcases in wrestling, and then the next week I see one of the biggest rock acts ever. Yeah, sign me up. It was cool.
That's fire.
Did Angus Young do like that 20-minute solo like he did at Mines?
Dude, just outrunning everybody.
Yeah.
Like, I
told you.
I don't have that type of energy. And like he's what, 30 years older than me?
Yeah, Brian Johnson after every song, let's effing go.
I know. Do you know how much you have to love what you do to like, you know, you can't hear anything, but you go up there and just, you know, phone it in anyway. You know, dude's like 90% deaf.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
He is.
Dang.
He had to cancel a tour one time because he lost his hearing.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's dedication. That's like, you talk about a side effect of what you do. You know, I'm gonna play loud music for my entire life, and then you go deaf.
It turns back around and bites you in the butt.
Yeah, it's like breaking your leg in wrestling or losing a leg in wrestling.
Yeah.
Jeez. I can't even imagine that, bro. Yeah, I'm not a big rock person. I grew up. The closest I ever gotten into like the whole rock world was the little punk rock phase.
Okay.
Like Fall Out Boy,
Oh,
Green Day.
I know a lot of people that would be angry at you for saying I like punk rock and your first band name is Fall Out Boy.
I'm just saying, like that was the only like hey, I'm a black guy from DC, bro.
Yeah.
Like, we not touching like hard like rock out there like that, bro. We know like the bangers, like the AC/DC bangers, like the classics, like Metallica, the classics. But to sit here,
But I'm as white and bald as they come, and like when I say I like hip hop, my go-to's not Will Smith.
That's crazy.
That's pretty much the Fall Out Boy equivalent to punk rock.
Dang. I know all the Fall Out Boys jams.
I love Fall Out Boy too, but
I
like
know
punk rock, like I know like some Social Distortion fans, some Black Flag fans, some like, you know, the Exploited fans. Like, you do not just say
AFI.
AFI. And that's, you know, it's a little better, a little more hard rock. You know,
Okay,
I like that.
Skillet. I'm kidding.
Lord.
I'm kidding.
Lord, he dropped the Christian rock on us.
I'm kidding.
Christian rock on us.
I didn't even know they was Christian until I became a Christian.
Read the lyrics. They
I
love
only know them from
them some
WWE.
Jesus.
The WWE games, that's what got me on.
Yeah, no.
And then they're playing this at Christian events. Like, hey, yo, what?
Yeah, read the lyrics. Love them some God, dude.
Yeah, that's all I got though. Fall Out Boy, AFI. Well, no, there was another band. If you had to think of another band that was exactly like Fall Out Boy in that same era, oh my gosh, why am I blanking?
Blink-182.
No, that's on the list though for sure.
Yeah, for sure it is.
What else was in Madden back in the day?
That's what I'm saying. No, low-key, that also did it for me, bro. Was a Madden.
That was the
jam.
criteria.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was a Madden jam.
POD?
Oh,
I used to like POD.
If you just watch, have you seen the new Superman yet?
I did.
I haven't yet.
That came up in argument.
I want to watch it.
I love punk rock. The PODs.
Yeah, it was.
Hold on. Wait. I gotta go to ChatGPT, bro.
Not ChatGPT.
Oh no.
Oh, my camera. Oh, Panic at the Disco.
Panic
Panic
at the
at
Disco.
the Disco.
Yep,
Yeah.
same voice for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like Panic
And My
at the
Chemical
Disco.
Romance,
My
right?
Chemical Romance. All American Rejects.
Oh,
Yeah.
See, you like that swing from the You like that's like pop punk. I'll give you that pop punk.
Yes.
Like if you would have said Green Day at the beginning of this, I probably wouldn't have reacted so
We're
hard.
going down, really
Oh,
around.
no.
And sugar, we're going down, swinging. What?
Cock it and pull it. That's
Come
what,
on.
that's what I'm gonna do right now.
We're falling in love to have time.
I never see Josh like this. That's crazy.
I love it. I love it. You know, I'm gonna. You know what? We're laughing now, but you and I are both gonna put on Fall Out Boy on the way home. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna be like, you know, this ain't a scene. It's a goddamn arms race.
Come on, bro.
Hey, no, I got nothing against Fall Out Boy. I just know a lot of people that would start a revolution over you calling them punk rock.
You know what? They can start a revolution. I'm gonna start a arms race. That's what I'm gonna start.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like my punk rock friends. You know, Darwin Finch. You know, shout out to you, buddy. I know you would hate this right now.
Hey, shout out to you, Darwin. Hey, whatever you do not panic at the disco. He's not gonna punch me so hard right now.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ron Killbourn here, SoCal wrestling legend.
Oh no.
How are you doing today, Ron?
Not the L word. Ron's great. Ron's doing well. He's very much happy that he only had to travel less than a mile to get here.
Right.
That is awesome. You know, I left my computer to come here and, you know, talk to you boys about wrestling and now music. Now we can get in big depth conversation about music. That's what's up.
Okay.
It's funny because music, you know, I always like credit wrestling for my eclectic range in music fandom. Like I can go from liking rock to hip hop to like lounge shit to like big band stuff. And only because like, you know, when you grow up liking all these wrestlers, they all have different genres of music. Like I would never like anything that sounded like Ravishing Rick Rude's music without the existence of Ravishing Rick Rude.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like anything like how Jerry the King Lawler's music comes out, like how he comes out through that big band, like beautiful like horns music. Yeah. But like, you know, I like that stuff. It's, you know, it's really like made me broaden my horizons into music. Like I can listen to damn near anything because of wrestling.
See, okay, so that's perfect then, because that's what's gonna help guide this whole entire conversation. So you're talking about how wrestling has impacted your music and your music taste and the things that you listen to and things like that you consume. Mm-hmm. So let's go back to the beginning.
Oh.
In the beginning. How'd you get into wrestling, bro? What was that? Was it at a young age?
See, I really enjoy my story of how I got into wrestling because it's like, you know, for the people my age, they'll really appreciate it. And it's actually quite timely because like a remake of this movie is coming out right now. Oh, really? I was a massive fan of the Naked Gun movies. Like, you know, those old detective movies that were like real, like just dry comedy. Okay. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, I was flipping through the channels and I landed on professional wrestling. Oh, wait. WWF Superstars. And in the ring is the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, and who I would know at the time as The Undertaker. And, you know, being raised on music and metal and classic rock, you know, that's a giant Ozzy Osbourne in the ring, you know, from what I'm looking at. So I was like, oh, I'm in. And mind you, during this time period, this is 1994. I'm 8 years old, and and at the time, I didn't know this until Paul Bearer comes out and points at this Undertaker and accuses him. Yes, indeed. He accuses this Undertaker of being a fake, and his real Undertaker is coming to take back his throne. And so I'm over here being 8 years old, going, okay, if that's not the real Undertaker, who's the real Undertaker?
Around that time.
I gotta see this guy. Exactly. If this guy's a fake, and I'm like, you know, this is the reason I'm watching. Where's the real guy? So in storyline mode, they hire Frank Drebin, the guy from the Naked Gun, to find the real Undertaker, and this is all leading up to SummerSlam 1994, and I begged my parents for this pay-per-view just because Frank Drebin's gonna find the real Undertaker and I get to see the real Undertaker.
The story writing is fire.
Dude, story writer is so good. The match, no, I mean, looking back, you know, definitely looking back, 8-year-old me was like through the roof excited.
Was your dad mad that he spent $100 on that pay-per-view?
Oh no, back then it was like $24. $24, little black box in the cable. You know, you had to spend some time on the phone in order to order it. I'm that old, you know. But that, you know, the match was what it was, but that build up, you know, there was Undertaker pizza boxes being delivered from Pizza Hut at the time. That's how cool the story. Yeah,
they built that.
Yeah, you had Taker versus Taker on pizza boxes on Pizza Hut at the time. It was huge, and yeah, that's what got me into wrestling. Like I watched SummerSlam 1994. That was my first pay per view as a young kid, and I just, you know, haven't looked back.
Nice, man. That's awesome, bro. Heck yeah. Okay, and it's so cool seeing how like wrestling is kind of like coming back to that.
Yeah.
Would you say, dude?
I mean, yeah, like, you know,
It's
I wouldn't
coming
compare Jelly Roll and Logan Paul
Facts.
to Leslie Nielsen.
Jelly
But-
Roll is about to wrestle.
Jelly Roll is
wrestle
about to wrestle at SummerSlam, bro.
Yep.
The same pay-per-view he just mentioned. Years later, Jelly Roll.
Hosted by Cardi B. I mean, look at
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Cardi B's. Oh, that's right.
She is the host of WrestleMania, the queen of the queen of SummerSlam. I keep saying WrestleMania, my bad. The queen of SummerSlam is Cardi B. It's gonna be a wet ass SummerSlam, ladies and gentlemen. It's
I totally forgot about that.
Oh yeah, I mean,
watching now.
I'm jealous. I wish I forgot about that. But you know, she's great on mute. My goodness,
Yes.
like just well deserving of the eyes, but the ears can, you know, yeah.
She's hosting.
Hosting.
And there's a
SummerSlam.
fight between.
It's Jelly Roll and Randy Orton, formerly known as RK Roll, and yes, that's a thing. And they're going up against Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre.
Is this?
This is real.
This is real. This
Is
just
this,
happened
is
last
this not?
week.
Is this not an episode on
This
Adult
happened last
Swim?
week, bro.
No.
This happened last week.
Sound like a South Park episode.
This is a shoot, brother. This is not a rib.
This is insane.
It's real, yeah.
What is happening?
A lot of mainstream appeal. I mean, you know, like you said it yourself. You know, the wrestling hasn't changed. You know, it still goes to these wells, and it's going to work.
Wait,
like I'll say,
Was it always like this?
Oh yeah, like
yeah.
you know.
Really?
You go back to the first WrestleMania. You got Liberace in there. You got Muhammad Ali in there.
Ali.
You got
Wait,
Lauper?
what?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh
Mr.
yeah.
T.
How much of a
I knew that. I didn't know. I knew that.
how much of a casual fan are you? We got some wrestling to watch. Let's put some stuff on. We can see
I
Burt,
am.
Telling you, bro.
we can see Burt Reynolds at a WrestleMania.
Wait. If I told you that my favorite wrestler all time was Triple H, what does that say about me?
That says that that says that you're probably 10 years younger than me.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? I'm one of those guys that lived through the Attitude Era and lived through the Ruthless Aggression Era. That kind of like, you know, I'm older, I'm wiser, and in hindsight, I'm like, you know what? Triple H doesn't get enough love.
Yeah.
You know, because like, you know, if you look back to the time period where everyone was accusing him of burying in talent and not making the new guy, my question to all y'all is, who else? He was the only guy that was like non-injury prone, very durable, and like a character that was strong enough to be the guy that you would want to get beat, as opposed to I need this guy to beat him.
That's exactly
The closest
what
they
I was
ever got, the only question I've ever asked the only feud that he won that he should have made the guy that I've questioned this entire time is Booker T. Like WrestleMania 19, that should have been Book's match, but for whatever reason, they had that really awkward storyline, and he still beat him at WrestleMania. Yeah. And that was the one I really questioned. But everything else, everyone else was very injury prone and not ready yet until we got Cena.
John Cena.
That's just my opinion. Sorry, internet wrestling fans. You can come after me all you want.
Triple H will walk the walk, so John can run.
See? Triple H, he's a legend in my book.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
There at
And
the
look, he's running WWE now.
It was him and Carmen Electra.
That's right. That's right. Ooh, Carmel Electra. Yeah, see, that's bringing back some memories too.
Because I feel like also during that time, I don't know if it kept going because I didn't watch it as much anymore, but also like the female wrestlers were still heavily involved and had large big house names, right?
I mean, they had large.
Has it still always been that way?
Back then, they were known for large somethings.
Oh,
That's for sure. You know, the bell to bell stuff has definitely like been highly upgraded since 2014, 2015.
Yeah, like around
that
that time,
I feel like the proverbial champagne bottle against the ship was swung and broken at that NXT takeover in Brooklyn between Sasha Banks and Bayley. I feel like that's when everyone started taking.
Recently.
Yeah, that's. I feel like that's where everyone started taking notice and really putting the women on more of a pedestal.
Nice, okay.
Because before that, you know, bless their hearts, you know, they were heroes of mine when I was a kid for different reasons, but you know,
Of course.
but like Tori Wilsons, the Stacy Keeblers, the Trish Stratuses of the
Trish
world.
Stratus,
I
I remember
mean,
that
Of course,
name.
you remember Trish Stratus.
I remember that name.
yeah, anyone my age will humbly admit that those ladies got you through puberty.
No, that's okay. So, but that era, that was like my peak of wrestling right there. I may have had the wrestling game that was out around that time too, as well.
Which one?
Who's on the cover?
Yep.
Oh, see, now we're talking.
Who's on the cover?
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Triple H.
Yeah.
You got a year?
Let's say that.
Oh, let's say that. Triple H. He was on.
SVR 07.
Let's say it was probably around.
Was he doing this?
Shut your mouth.
2000.
Yeah, he's either doing this or he's doing this.
I think it was this one.
Okay.
That's probably 07.
That's 07.
That sounds about right. Yes, that does sound about right.
SmackDown
Could you
versus
create
Raw.
a finisher? That's important. Can you create a finisher in this game?
You probably didn't even know that was a thing.
I don't think I knew that was a thing.
Man.
I was heavily a football gamer,
Okay.
but that was still like my wrestling peak time. Though.
See, I'm not a football guy at all. Like, could you create like a play in those games? That'd
Yes,
be cool.
you can create a playbook.
Really? Like the formation and everything?
Yes.
Wow, that's cool.
You get to make your own team.
Oh, okay. See, I think that I knew what was
Make your own
possible.
team.
Like I don't have the patience of creating one person on these wrestling games nowadays. I can't imagine.
I
creating
know.
an
It's like,
entire
bro, I don't
team.
even want to finish this anymore, man. I don't even want to play the game no more.
Although creating an entire football team, because there's kind of copy paste, right? They all wear the same uniform, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the football games, man, yeah, in that, yeah, you don't get that many options. But in wrestling games, too many options and everything. And if you mess up one little thing, the whole thing's screwed,
Yeah.
Really? What
I
the?
don't even want to play the game no more, man. I just want to turn this off.
Yeah. Or you complete it and you're on to like the entrance and you realize
The entrance.
like, oh, now this is a whole nother day.
Oh my god, that's another hour or two before we get to play the freaking game.
Yeah. No, seriously.
Here, you will start off cool pyro and everything, and then halfway through the entrance, it's all whatever it is.
Yeah, take me back to N64 stat.
That's crazy.
It's like, man, I don't want to play this thing no more, man.
All right. So going back. So how did this kid who's asking his dad for the pay-per-view, seeing the pizza boxes with the Undertaker versus Undertaker, got the real world movie mixing in with wrestling now. How did this progress? Did you continue to be more of like a super fan, or did you also start thinking to yourself, oh, I want to do that? What came first? Like, you just kept getting further into it, or you was like, can I do this?
Oh, definitely the super fan. Definitely super fan. I was a super fan all the way up until sophomore year of high school. And let's be honest, I'm still a super fan. And that's one thing that I've shamelessly admitted, even no matter how quote unquote professional I do this at. If you're not a super fan still, then like, what are we doing? I've always enjoyed being a super fan. Like I still watch the pay-per-views, and I still call them pay-per-views even today. And
Call pay-per-views anymore?
huh? No, they call them premium live events.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's not really a pay-per-view
PLEs,
since you're already paying per month on the subscription.
I still call it pay-per-view.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's just that's your one back in my day thing. Yeah, that's the first one for you. Like, no, I still call them pay-per-views. Yeah. So no, I was a super fan for a long time. Like I mentioned before, when I said I don't really watch football, I don't really watch any sports. So really wrestling is all I had.
Wow.
Like, when my friends are talking about like who they like in the playoffs or who they like in the Super Bowl, I'm like,
The Rock.
yeah, The Rock. The only Super Bowl related thing I watched was the halftime heat between him and Mankind, where they had the empty arena match in between halftime show at the Super Bowl. Like, you can either watch. Yeah. So one year, 1999 to be exact, they had the Super Bowl, and they also had Sunday Night Heat the same evening. And they let the wrestling fans know, like, hey, when halftime goes on, instead of watching that bullshit halftime show, I don't know who's performing that year. Instead of watching that shit, why don't you switch on over to this channel and watch The Rock and Mankind wrestle in an empty arena? And they did that for
cool.
30 minutes straight.
30 minutes?
One of the funniest matches you'll ever see in your life, because it's quiet, so all you hear is just The Rock just talking loads and loads of shit while he's wrestling Mankind.
That's great.
And it's one of the funniest things I've seen The Rock do. It's one of my favorite matches The Rock has ever had, and there's no technical stuff at all. It's
30
just
minutes?
Yeah, they're just running around a building just fighting each other, and he's like, they go to I'm just going to share this one part because this is the best part of the match, where they go past catering, and he's like eating, he's like taking something off of each plate and complaining about it and taking it out on Mankind. He's like, it's too much salt. like, oh, this sauce is mild.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's so good. Like, that's the type of shit that I like to watch. But to answer your question further on when I switched to like wanting to be a wrestler, I had no idea you could become a wrestler. Like, internet was a thing, but it was in its infancy, and I couldn't really like find it. And I didn't know it was a thing. Like, I figured you had to, like, know somebody or be an athlete of some sort. But I met a guy in high school who just knew way more about wrestling than I did. Like, I knew a lot about wrestling as a super fan, but he knew, like, the secret sauce of it and, like, people's real names and, like, you know, how it's done. And this is before Tough Enough, that I saw Tough Enough. So, like, you know, the curtain wasn't peeled back even to that level yet. Wow. So I just asked him, like, how do you know this? He's like, oh, I mean, I am a wrestler. And I, you know, and natural reaction is, whatever.
Yeah.
And then, he gives me the straight face and then shows me the card of the school he goes to. And the card is Empire Wrestling Federation. And, you know, this is, one of the, you threw around the word legend my way, but I'll say, since he was way before me, I'll call him a legend. He's one of my best friends to this day. Tyler Davidson, a.k.a. Kid Carnage, a.k.a. Ty Matthews. Not in the wrestling business anymore, but, I could always see him coming back just because he still has the mind for it. But he wrestled as Kid Carnage at the Empire Wrestling Federation. And, I'm the kid in the candy store because this is like, my in. Like, yeah, I'll sign up. Where do I go?
How old were you?
I was 16.
Okay, 16. Okay.
16, and, like, it was perfect because this particular school wouldn't really accept people unless they were 15 and your parents signed a waiver. So my dad showed up, signed a waiver, and I started school there 2002, and I was just hooked. And, like, when you walk in there, you're brand new. Jesse, you meet Jesse for the first time, you meet all these people for the first time, and then you look back years later, and I see all these people that were in that room at that time are now doing some pretty cool things. Like, you got TJ in this building. Rocky Romero was in this building. Ricky Reyes was in this building. A couple guys that are still in EWF to this day were in this building, and kind of grew up with these guys and still know them, and still welcome with open arms to this day. So it's pretty cool to kind of, like, as I'm, like, reviewing it right now, like, this is what, 23 years ago at this point now? 23 years ago. And, I never thought I'd be talking about it in the vein of 23 years ago. It's so weird how time just kind of flies, it just like goes, that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So 16 years old. Mm-hmm. You got... Okay, so you kind of flew through it, but you're like, yeah, your dad took you there. So was there no questioning at all? Like, are you sure you want to do this? Like,
yeah, I mean, so here's where that comes into play because, I'm the only person in my house that likes wrestling. Everyone else is probably annoyed that I'm a wrestling fan. But here's the flip side. I'm a big boy right now. You can see that I got some stomach going. I'm a fat guy. But this portion of my life, I was around 450 pounds. Morbidly obese, like, 16-year-old kid. Yeah, no, I was, when I say I wasn't into football, period. Like, no physical anything. I was just lazy wrestling fan.
I know those coaches try getting.
Oh, they tried.
Oh,
they tried.
Hey, we need you, boy.
Yeah, my parents, my dad tried. Like, I did Hell Week. I almost died.
Ooh,
and that's just that body was not made for Hell Week at that time. But, like, we were also, my parents were just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what stuck to get me to, like, do anything active to get smaller. And so, even though they hated wrestling, they weren't fans of wrestling. When I, that big, that unhealthy, present this very physical, demanding thing, even they who don't like wrestling was like, well, shit, this is better than nothing.
Yeah,
you'll burn some calories somehow.
Exactly.
Even if you're in danger, you're already in danger by the sight of you. And, like, so they rolled the dice and went for it, even though they had to risk a lot of worry about me, like, dying in the ring, because let's just be honest,
your heart,
no matter how no matter how choreographed and how predetermined the sport is, anybody is risking death walking through those ropes.
That's true.
It doesn't matter how good a shape you are. You're one mistake from landing right on your head and death.
Yeah.
No matter what, you have to really love this thing in order to do it and be okay with the fact that you're risking death every time you go out there.
Yeah. So how was it? That initial start.
It was one of those things where, like, I've hated all movement. I've hated exercise. I've
hated all movement.
Yeah,
crazy.
no, seriously. That is the level of laziness I was dealing with. You know, going on a walk sounded like pure torture. Like I just was I was a couch potato, not into like any physical activity at all. But if you can get me to like, you know, play wrestle or like, you know, like I've had a number of friends that would go in the backyard and fuck around. I'm sorry, can you cuss? I probably cussed so many times on this show already. But anyway, so anytime I had an excuse to do any like wrestling, I would do it no matter what size or what level of conditioning I was. So to answer your question, you know, it felt amazing. Like, you know, I can feel my body going, we're not used to this. But my mind was just, I'm having such a blast. I need more of it.
But what were your friends saying as you were 450 pounds on top of them?
Oh, I mean, well, yeah, they were really nice. They were really nice. Like, you got to learn to get light, brother. But, you know, like, you know, but then before you're smartened up to like, you know, the predeterminedness of it and like, you know, working with the other guy, you know, when you're fucking around with your friends in the backyard, you're kind of like half shooting, brother. You know, you're like, yeah, I'm going to do the stunner. And you're like, no, you're not. Like, you know, I'm going to do the rock bottom. You're like, no, you're not. I'm going to avoid it at all costs. Like, you know, because there was still a point in time where, like, even though I was older and, like, you know, watching it and, like, you know, I kind of halfway believed, you know, I invested my disbelief. Like, I suspended disbelief to watch wrestling. And, like, there was a lot of times in my childhood and my teenage years, you know, kind of like, you know, sad to admit sometimes that I defended it as if it was, oh, it's not fake. And then, you know, there were point in times I can't pinpoint the exact moment, but there were like eye-opening situations when I was watching wrestling in my teen years where I was like, oh, Santa's not real.
That moment.
There is that moment.
Huh?
Oh, did I just spoil it for you?
No, he's talking about the wrestler. Santa.
Oh, yeah, because it's McFoley.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. All right, cool. December is going to be good in this house now.
I know.
Right, you have a chimney, right?
I have one of those flip-on fireplaces.
All right, guys. Since I know that you live close, I'll get geared up and stay committed. Stay committed to the role. You want to be an elf?
I got you.
All right, cool.
I look good in green. I look good in green. So
I'll exhaust all effort to make you believe again. But yeah, no, like when I got into wrestling, like it was so cool. Like I you know, it didn't really take on the weight loss, you know, so quick because, you know, no matter how physical you are, the fat kid's up here, and everything you put in your mouth is what matters. Like, you know, had a crazy food addiction. So even like when I was in wrestling, I felt like I was getting bigger at times. Dang. But yeah, but like even back then though, like if you saw me back then, I looked like Haystacks Calhoun with Earthquake's hairdo. and like, you know, and bless Jesse's heart, like, you know, when he saw me, he had to have seen dollar signs because I was booked in like 3 months.
Really?
And, yeah.
3 months?
Yeah, like I wrestled. I got to wrestle our trainer at the time.
Snap. Haystacks Calhoun.
Yeah, that's maybe I didn't get quite that big, but I was getting there. Like I think my biggest was like 540. Like when I wrestled when I wrestled Liger Rivera in 2006, I remember weighing I remember weighing in at 542 that like a week before that because I only knew that because I went to the doctor and they weighed me. I was never going to get on a scale on my own at that time because I didn't want to know the number. But yeah, I had to know that number because of a certain checkup I had. But yeah, I was up there in weight, but it was
there was no like limits or
like no for wrestling.
Yeah.
Oh no, not. I mean, I'm sure there's some sort of athletic commission somewhere.
That's what I'm saying. It has to be something like somewhere.
Not in the Indies, brother. Not in the underground Indies. No,
that's very true. Yeah.
I'm sure there's some sort of athletic commission somewhere. You know, I could be dead wrong, but if they probably actually no. There's stories about this in the WWF side that, you know, there were some cities where they wouldn't allow Yokozuna to wrestle because of how big he was, but he was in like the 630s at the time. Dang. Pushing 700s. But, you know, but yeah, no, there's an argument that could have been made that, you know, maybe you shouldn't get in there. Today's the heart attack day, maybe, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, I will say this about myself. I've always been a heavy critic on, you know, my work. You know, I 9 times out of 10, I don't like what I see, but like, you know, others will tell me otherwise, and that's awesome. But, you know, even then, a guy that big running the ropes looks crazy.
Yeah, I
Like
can imagine.
doing a roll looks crazy. Taking a bump looks crazy. Taking a power bomb off the second rope looks crazy. And I was willing to do all that at that size.
Wow.
And so as a promoter, how could you not like want that on your show?
Yeah,
Like,
that draws attention for sure.
yeah, but yeah, definitely. It just like being that big and walking through the aisleway draws attention. They're like, whoa, look how freaking wide that guy is. Like, it's insane. That guy's gonna wrestle. How does that look? I can draw interest that way. And in 2002, this is when TNA was kind of firing off on all cylinders, and the work rate was really turning up, and the AJ Styles of the world were coming up. So like, seeing a guy like me wrestle was kind of like dying, like as far as like the internet audience's taste.
Yeah.
And the heavyweight wrestler style was kind of getting an eye roll. But I'll be damned if like whatever local market you're wrestling in, there's kids that are like looking at you like you're a freaking supervillain. Like, so there is an appetite for that type of wrestling, and we're seeing it today. There's a lot of heavyweights now that are like doing the damn thing, but they're also like one of the greatest work rate wrestlers going right now. Like, if you get a fat kid coming into training nowadays and saying, well, Bronson Reed's fat, I'm like, you're not Bronson Reed. But, come on. You're not. Don't call yourself Kevin Owens. Don't call yourself Bronson Reed. Those are once in a generation talents. You still need to go to the gym.
Yep. Yes. I gotta ask this.
Okay.
Did you ever break the rope while running?
Did I ever break the rope while running? Actually, no. That has never happened to me. It's never happened to me, but I also never climbed.
Great.
I've never climbed the rope either. Like, I don't think I've ever been on the top rope. I've done like a Vader bomb. I've done like the bonsai drop. Like, I've gotten that high up on the rope, but the ring's never been broken while I'm in there. Thankfully, because if I fell through the ring, who knows when I'm going to land on that type of body. I think a smaller guy, if the board will break, they're not going to go right through. I think if the board was like weak enough for a body to go through, and then I go through it, I'm going straight to the concrete.
Yeah.
Just because of velocity and weight and speed and just logic.
Yeah.
But like, no offense, but if like the board's barely broken and you go through it, you're going to be like kind of like netted in there, and like you're probably going to get pinched as fuck with the splinters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going right through. It's going to be like a freaking cartoon hole. But yeah, no, thankfully, knock on wood. Where's the wood at? Knock on wood. I'm never going to break the ring. But like, you see it all the time where like, that there's that one freak accident where Bobby Lashley literally almost died breaking the ring when he ran the ropes and like, did a backflip on his neck, almost on his neck rather.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang. Yeah. All right. So now you're getting booked almost immediately, like you said, 3 months.
You're like still in high school at this point too.
Yeah.
So how was that like?
I mean, like,
you're going
fine.
to school,
like it's
you actually doing it.
Yeah, it was fun. Like when my community of friends in high school, they were only wrestling fans. Like I met a family of people called the Dawsons, and they're like my second family to this day. And they were so bold enough to have a wrestling ring in their backyard. So like, even while I wasn't doing Jesse's, I would still get the opportunity to train with them weekly, like go like straight up from after school there, and they would do shows. But this was back when backyard wrestling was taboo. Yeah. And but like, we went about it the right way. Like, we would have like professionals come and like put us through training classes. We just, the Dawsons never had the money for a building, but they had the money for a ring and a giant backyard. Like, they literally had a baseball field in the backyard. And yeah, so like, they would just have wrestling training, and like, the wrestling trainings that you've been at where we get in line and we all roll, we all, do drills, and then we end up having practice matches. Everything was by the book, and we would bring people in that knew their shit to help us do it. And we went about it the right way, but because of the location that the ring was in, nobody wanted to like admit that they did this at this place, just because it kind of messed with their chances of getting booked. Yeah. So that was the majority of my training, and then like and at Jesse's as well, and then that's where I ended up wrestling Black Steel, aka Powerhouse Pops. He's no longer with us. But, you know, to answer your question, like my community of friends, they were wrestlers too. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't like, you know, I wrestled and I went to school and I was hot shit. Like, you know, no one, nobody cared. It was like, you're like, yeah, we saw, I did it too. You know, so
that makes sense. Yeah,
exactly. And like all throughout any school period, like elementary, middle school, I never had a community of friends that liked wrestling. Like even then, I was like kind of an island by myself until I met these group of people that liked wrestling so much that they also wanted to be it.
Yeah,
was pretty cool. Like, I waited for the right group of people to be wrestling friends with.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I had friends, and after high school, they grew out of it. I'm like, dang.
I think that says more about you, though.
Yeah. I don't know. No, we were still friends, but
yeah.
Like watching anymore.
No,
you know?
you branch out. Like, I'm telling you, like even like, you know, they say like the best friends you make are in your 20s. Like,
oh yeah, that's facts.
Yeah, and like even then, like, you know, next year I'll be 40. You know, as you still get busier and busier, and like you still branch out from them. And you know, we're on a podcast. I have my own podcast too. Little cheap plug, the Creative Team Podcast.
Yeah,
check it out wherever you get your podcast. And I like telling my co-host Cole Dawson, the leader of basically the family I was telling you about that had this ring and did all this stuff in his backyard. He was the promoter, and he also wrestled with us, and you know, been in the business a long time ago, like, you know, and really rolled the dice on having his own promotion in his backyard back when that was really taboo, and did it right and did it fun. And one of my favorite times being a wrestler is doing that. We now have a podcast, and tying this into getting older and branching out. Having this podcast is basically, no matter how successful it is, it's an excuse to spend an hour a week talking wrestling with this person. Still
that connection.
You know, it's not. It's really the one time a week we get this time, other than like, you know, family gatherings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if for nothing else, like having this podcast is a gateway to keeping that friendship, you know, active. Like it's always going to be going, but I meant like keeping the experiences going.
Yeah.
Having that constant conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, that's what I love about wrestling. It's community, you know, even without being a wrestler itself.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome.
That's dope, man.
So on your journey, you know, being a wrestler now, did you immediately, because I've learned this, you know, as the more I've learned through Isaac and other wrestlers, is that not everybody starts off with the same name that they have now. And things. So did you immediately become Ron Killbourn, or were you something else and then eventually segued into Ron Killbourn?
I have been lucky enough to be Ron Killbourn for the entire stretch of my career.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay.
From 02, I have been Ron Killbourn. To this day, I'm Ron Killbourn. Now, have I had other gimmicks? Where I've jumped,
I knew something in there. Something.
Yeah, where I've jumped in like, hey, look, we don't want Ron Killbourn, but we got this idea. That's only happened to me like twice.
Okay.
And like I did wrestle as a Santa Claus.
No wonder he's so ready to help keep your dream.
I can dust it off. I can dust it off right now. So they wanted a Santa Claus. Wow. You know, and not like Ron Killbourn dressed as Santa Claus. No, they wanted a Santa Claus to
like
just
you
come
are
out.
Santa.
Yeah, come out, be a wrestler, like, you know, have a wrestling match for some reason, get beat so he can put the heel over. And then one time there was a group, a faction in this company, the company that I mentioned before in the backyard where it was taboo, but we still had good shows. They had the High Flying Mexican Jumping Beans was the faction, was the stable name.
That sounds very cancelable.
It was very, very cancelable. Very cancelable, especially not one person in the group was...
No! All right.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. Hold on. You said the High Flying Mexican Jumping Beans weren't even Mexican.
Oh, yeah. 4 jars of mayonnaise with lucha masks on. Came out to the ring and called themselves the High Flying Mexican Jumping Beans. White as can be. Whiter than this room.
Hold on. Let's go. Park. First of all, the name itself is insane. We're the High Flying Mexican Jumping Beans.
Yeah.
That's already insane. Because even if they were Mexican, I thought that's still self-cancelable. Like, dang, you're Mexican, so you're going to call yourself a jumping bean? Yeah. Crazy. But to know that they weren't even Mexican,
That's crazy.
So I joined the group. For the day. Just for a day. Just for a day.
No way.
Yeah, just for a day. You want to know what my name was?
Don't run for public office.
No, I'm not. Oh no, I'm not. But I might.
What was
it?
What was your name?
El Taco Grande.
The Big Taco. Did you see when he took his hat off earlier? What he looked. He was the Big Taco.
Yeah.
I think I know who El Grande Americano is now.
Do you?
Might be sitting next to me.
Oh
right now.
man, if putting on a luchador mask makes me look like that jacked, I would wear a mask all the time. But
now, there's a cool storyline going on right now. WWE, it's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, El Taco Grande. Your ass is getting folded.
That's fire, actually.
Yeah, right.
But
like
also that. 5 Mexican jumping beans.
That's why it happened one time. One time.
Wait. No, wait. Hold on. All right. Details. Okay. Okay. Everybody was white.
Yeah.
But where did the Mexican name come from, and how did you sell it as white guys?
Well, if you're wearing a lucha mask, you're Mexican. I'm not saying that's how I think. I'm saying that's how it was thought.
No. I'm saying I was hoping that wasn't the case.
No, that was the case. This is 2002. Oh, we're idiots.
This is crazy.
Yeah, 2002. We're morons. So, and what's funny is that we had a 12-year-old in the group.
Huh?
Oh yeah, a 12-year-old. Like he was learning the ropes, literally, and because he was low to the ground, he was the low flying Mexican jumping bean.
The low.
Coming out to low rider.
The more details we receive, the worse it gets. And I love it.
They've done a lot worse stuff, but I'm not even going to get into that because I think that would actually get us canceled.
Oh,
I'll tell you off the air. The second you press stop, I'll let you know about a certain entrance.
What? Let me guess.
That they did.
5 Black Soul Brothers?
Oh, no.
And plot twist, they were the Mexican ones.
No, we're still on the Mexican jumping beans. We're still on the Mexican jumping. We didn't do anything. We left that to WWE with Crime Time.
Oh
yeah, Crime Time. That was a bit of a stretch, but no, we didn't do anything like that. But Mexican jumping beans, they really stretched out the level of tolerance that the audience can handle at that time. But no one really batted an eye at it. They were just like, yeah, luchadors.
What city was this?
This is Riverside.
God.
Oh yeah.
This is great.
I mean, Riverside's got a bell, like Taco Bell. So
I'm sure that's what it stands for. I'm sure that's exactly what it stands for. Yeah. Live Mas.
Oh boy, yeah. No, there's some ideas that should have just stayed ideas. Wrestling. Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing, man.
I mean, do you remember Chavo Guerrero's white gimmick?
Yeah. Was it?
Kerwin White.
Frost. No, Kerwin White.
Frost would have been better. But they just straight up said white. He would come out dressed as a golfer, came out in a golf cart, came out to like Frank Sinatra music, did his hair like the guy from you ever watch Friends?
So Chavo Guerrero,
Gunther?
right?
Yeah. Remember Gunther, not the wrestler Gunther, but the Gunther that was in love with Rachel the whole time at the coffee shop? Looked just like that guy. So a Mexican being super white, hey, so
what was the name?
Kerwin White.
Kerwin White?
Yeah, so you know what? Maybe he heard about the high flying Mexican jumping beans. He's like, hold my beer. No, hold my cerveza. I'm about to get a golf cart and show him what's up.
Oh no. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Not the cardigan over the shoulder.
Yeah. Is his caddy with him?
Oh no!
Look up this caddy and tell me.
Oh, I see him behind. Oh my! Is he in a golf cart?
Who's the caddy though? Tell me who the caddy is. Can you recognize that face? And if you can't, show it to me. Do you know who he was?
I don't know.
Which one?
It's the guy that's behind him in the like white and purple.
Is that Nick Nemeth?
Yeah, sure is. Before Dolph Ziggler was a thing, he was carrying golf clubs with Kerwin White.
Before the Spirit Squad.
Yeah.
Before he was Nick Nemeth.
Yep. Yeah, before the Spirit Squad.
I did not know this.
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Yes, you heard it here first, Irod.
What?
Dolph Ziggler was holding the golf clubs for Kerwin.
This is full circle. You originally asked me, was there any other gimmicks that you had before Ron Killbourn? Well, now we circled back to poor Nick Nemeth carrying golf clubs for Kerwin White.
Is insane.
A.K.A. Chavo Guerrero.
Wow. The fact that they let him drive this golf cart around.
Oh, it didn't last long.
It's crazy.
It did not last long.
Wow. Sheesh. My mind is officially blown now.
Dude, you have so much wrestling to watch.
I think it's time, man. We're just going to have to do a series just showing you iconic moments, man.
Yeah.
It's long overdue.
Yeah.
We took him to Monday Night Raw last year.
What's going on? All right, see,
That was great.
now I'm going to get distracted because, whenever I go to a party, I'm notoriously known. If there's a baby or a pet in the room, I'm pretty much a party pooper because I'm hanging out with that entity the entire time. But yeah, no, this puppers is awesome. But does Katie Vick ring a bell?
No.
Oh, buddy. What about you? Does Katie Vick ring a bell? You don't know the Katie Vick?
If I'm thinking of the same person.
The Katie Vick storyline in WWF or WWE at the time. It's a storyline between your boy Triple H and Kane.
I know both of them.
Wait, so no one's chimed in. It's like, oh, I remember this. So I'm gonna have to tell the story on this podcast.
Story, yeah.
Oh boy, I'm sorry, everyone at home, but Triple H came out while Kane was out there celebrating whatever he was celebrating, and Triple H has a match with Kane coming up soon, and he tells this story about, hey Kane, I know about you, I know about your past, I know about Katie Vick. And then they show Kane in a close-up, zooming in on his face like it's a soap opera. And then they cut to commercial, or they end the show right then and there. And then next week you find out that Kane has an ex-girlfriend named Katie Vick who died in a car accident with Kane, and I think he was driving. And then Triple H had the wild accusation. He was like, Kane, I knew you really wanted to, take things to the next level with Katie. But I gotta wonder, did you do it before or after she was dead? That's where wrestling was in 2003, everyone. 2003. Ruthless aggression is more than just a concept of the in-ring work.
What's the storyline?
So, to follow that up, Triple H says he has proof of this. And what do? They go to a funeral shop where it looks like it's a wake. And you see Triple H's Conan the Barbarian ass with a Kane mask on, and he fucks a mannequin inside of a coffin.
How have I not ever seen this? This is. How have I not heard of this?
And then when he finishes, because the segment goes till he finishes. He reaches in the casket and pulls out what looks to be like, melted ice cream, chunky ice cream, and he says, as we cut to commercial, I just screwed your brains out. That's your boy.
Anyway, I never.
I might have to redact my previous statements.
Storyline.
See, I need to have another podcast where I just have like a campfire and I'm telling people old wrestling stories.
You should.
Yeah, this made it to television.
First episode, the 5 Mexican jumping beans.
Dude, yeah, they brought that to Vince McMahon's table. He's like, oh, I love it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. Can you imagine?
I mean, Vince, he did some wild stuff too. He did some wild stuff. Watch the Netflix documentary. You're going to love it.
Jeez. But yeah, no, that's a real thing that happened. That was a real storyline that happened.
This is my first time hearing about this, my guy.
My heart.
Yeah, if y'all think I'm lying out there, just binge watch WWF Raw from 2003, and you'll find it. You'll find it.
Go on Peacock, guys.
Just type in. They might. Who knows? They might have got rid of that.
Probably got rid of that.
Like, just look up Katie Vick. Look up Katie Vick. Trust me.
Oh man. Speaking of good rivalries, man, Triple H, Kane. You've been in this business, you said 20 years now?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, when you talk to people that like have been doing it on this level, that it doesn't come without some hiatus moments. Yeah. There have been some spots in my in my upbringing in wrestling where I've been gone for a while, you know, dealing with the shoot job or like, you know, starting a family and whatnot, or just being like kind of over it. But really, been in and out of this game for 23 years, and right now I think I'm having the most fun.
Nice.
Just because, you know, I think with the hindsight of like what people have tried to teach me over the years versus like stuff that I've learned on podcasts, and, you know, kind of like having a wide spectrum of knowledge that you can like obtain from others. I like to put it together a little bit more nowadays. I'm like thinking more of like the whys and the hows versus like what moves I want to do or want to take. Like, yeah, I love like getting the most out of the least, and I know a lot of people might consider that lazy, but it really isn't. Like, you know, you gotta give that kid in the front row someone to hate and someone to root for.
Yep.
And you're not gonna do that with just a wrestling move. I just saw a wrestling move happen, but who did it? Why did you do it? Why should I care if that guy's hurt? You know, they need to like know right away, like, you know, who's the asshole, who's the hero, and I think that's the stuff that I double down on the most. Really, that character work. Yeah. And then everything else, you know, it doesn't have to be fancy. It just needs to be safe.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm. So out of all your years, man, who are some favorite opponents you have?
My favorite opponents, like there's a guy that is no longer wrestling, but like even before we were pros, like wrestling him was a day off, and his name's Warren Goings. Okay. He wrestled in EWF as Justin Jackson like 3 or 4 times. But he's one guy that like he can like throw boots on today, and I know I'll have a great match with him just on muscle memory and like trust. But the stuff that I hang my hat on is that I had the privilege of wrestling with the Young Bucks when they had their promotion in Victorville. Really? They had the ice skating rink in Victorville. They had that locked down for like 3 or 4 years. Maybe longer. I could be way off on that, but I remember getting to wrestle a lot of their shows, and, you know, bless those guys' hearts. They booked a match randomly where it was Nick and another guy named Dustin, who became a Cutler brother in PWG, but at the time he was wrestling as Diablo. And for whatever reason, Matt and Nick booked that match, that team, against me. Actually, it was me and Diablo versus Nick, and his partner was Christopher Daniels from TNA, and this is 2006. He was the X Division champion at this point. He was the Fallen Angel. So this is cool, I'm literal starstruck. Oh yeah, because like this is 2006. I'm 4 years deep. You know, I'm not so smartened up to not fanboy at this point. Like fanboying was frowned upon, but I always fucked that up. Like no matter who I met that was famous, I'm like, oh, I was such a fan. Blah 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 blah. And to this day, like, you know. To this day, I try to keep that in check, but also I've never agreed with that sentiment, just because if I were as famous as these guys and like someone came up to me in the business and wasn't jaded by it and was like, you know, hey, I'm really inspired by your stuff, I would like that. But I was always taken to the side, like, hey, you don't act like that to the professionals. I'm like, sorry. Like, I remember meeting Rikishi and just being blown away. I remember meeting Chris Canyon, God rest him, just being blown away, and then having the chance to wrestle Chris Daniels at that size at that time I was blown away. That's huge, yeah. That's still to this day like my biggest claim to fame is, you know, working for the Young Bucks and wrestling Chris Daniels on a show.
That's wild.
Yeah,
that's wild, especially 2006. That's like peak TNA, man.
Yeah, I'm 20. I'm 20 years old. Yeah, it was nuts. Yeah.
Okay.
That's fire, man.
So, since we all know that my era was the golden era of wrestling, Triple H, The Rock,
fucking a corpse. Yeah.
What? I'm gonna see if I can recognize most of your list, but who's in your top 5 in no particular order?
Top 5, no particular order. Okay. It's so funny because it's like wrestling has become such genre based, you know, kind of like music nowadays. You know, there's your, you know, everyone categorizes everything as far as like technical wrestling, high flyers, you know, heavyweights, you know, the money drawers. But if you're gonna put a gun to my head and ask me who are my 5 favorite people to watch, I gotta go with The Undertaker as my end all be all, just because he got me into it. He got me into it. Like, he doesn't put on any stinkers to me, just because, he can just have his entrance and you'd be satisfied.
Oh, and, iconic.
Yeah, and it's so hard to get that level of likability to where, like, you're just forgiven no matter what because of how cool your gimmick is. Yeah, that's unreal to me. Now we're gonna get to the bell-to-bell guys, Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart. Some people need to choose between the two, but I just won't. They're like my guys growing up. Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero is by far.
This is a great list.
Eddie Guerrero is by far like the total package guy that just, had he not left us, he would have been on top of this damn planet.
Dude,
because look where the business went with the bell to bell stuff, and where it was when he was here last. Like, he beat Brock Lesnar. They were doubling down on these guys, on the size of these guys, and really he kind of paved the way for the smaller guys getting more of a shot nowadays. Now he's no midget. Like, the dude was jacked, but at the time in 2004, putting the title on him over Brock Lesnar was insane.
Yeah.
So thinking of that and thinking more matches between him and AJ Styles, or let alone some of the guys today, because gosh, how old would he be now? I mean, his retirement match would have had to have happened by now if he was still with us.
Yeah.
But imagine the stuff we could have got in the 2010s, or whatnot. But yeah, Eddie Guerrero, and then there's a fifth. Who would be my fifth? That's a tough one, because it's a toss up, and I know if I mention one name that's kind of controversial today, I think. There's an argument to be made for John Cena. There's a huge argument to be made for John Cena, because I think I was one of those guys that kind of sang his praises while he was getting all the hate. And just because there was a time where I really bought into hey, it's all about the character, it's all about the guy that's out there. The bell-to-bell stuff can come later. Do they give a shit about him? And they gave a shit about him enough to either hate his guts or love him unconditionally. He got to a point in time where no matter who he was in the ring with, nobody was cheering or booing the other guy. They were both cheering and booing just John Cena.
Facts.
So, you can say oh, he's not that great, or oh, he wasn't over. No, motherfucker was over. Mm-hmm. All the noise was directed to just him. Everyone wanted to verbalize their opinion based on his presence there. Dude deserves everything. And the fact that we're getting this run today, no matter how you review it, it's something that I as a fan have been clamoring for, and something, quite frankly, I thought I was never going to get. So the fact that we're getting it at all is what's up. And I think, I kind of made my arguments for the three bell-to-bell guys, and then I got my one gimmick guy in there. But if I'm going to put an all-time guy in there for strictly my fandom versus longevity and all that, because I could say Hogan and Steve Austin very easily. But for me, as far as the most content I've consumed by somebody who's the money draw, I'm going to go Cena. Sue me.
I love that. That's awesome. Dang.
Solid, man. It's a solid list, man.
I know.
Solid.
It covers everything.
It does.
Yeah. It covers everything. And we can argue, because that's the beauty of wrestling, because no matter what you think, you're right. I believe you. Who's to say what the greatest match of all time was? A lot of people can, and a lot of people can say different things.
Yeah.
And depending on the answer, I'm not going to say, oh, well, I'm not going to, unless you came up to me with a Santino match. I would I'm listening, but you're probably wrong.
2011.
Yeah, no offense, Santino. No offense, Santino. I'm such a Santino fan, but I'm giving him, I'm putting him in a category of something that's I don't think anyone thinks. I don't think anyone goes to a Santino match as the greatest match of all time. But he'll definitely steal the show in a comedy segment. No questions asked. But I think I grew up thinking the Iron Man match between Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels is the greatest match of all time, and I still think so to this day. But if someone came up to me in the modern era and say, well, I think Shawn Michaels and Undertaker from WrestleMania 25 is the greatest match of all time, I can't argue that because it's pretty damn close in my opinion.
26, but I'm biased.
Yo,
He said, but
I mean, I was there. That's why.
Oh, there you go. See,
I'm biased.
I mean, but also career versus streak is bigger stakes, and they main evented that one. So I ain't mad at that one either.
Yeah.
Wow.
This was a fun time, man.
Oh yeah.
This was such a fun. We might have to run a part 2 eventually, bro.
Yeah, we went a little long, did we?
Oh no, not at all, man. I think we're making good time, man. But every time we about to close out an interview, man. Josh, he needs to do this segment right here.
Okay.
He needs to do it. If we don't do it, this whole interview might be ruined.
Oh no.
And it might ruin his day.
Oh no.
You know? So we gotta make sure we fit this in.
Oh gosh.
What do you mean, bro? Me? Okay, I'll do it.
See?
Okay. We're not here. Okay?
Oh no.
It's just you and the camera, aka the viewer or the listener.
Okay.
And if there's anything that you want to share where it comes to following your passions, your dreams, or going after something that you really care about in life, whatever it may be that you have in your heart, it could do with nothing with wrestling for all we care. Mm-hmm. There's something that you could share with someone that's listening that could better them in their lives. What would that be?
Oh man, you know, I'm actually old enough to get choked up about this, and I think I've shared a lot on this to really, you know, kind of like take it back and bring it full circle with a question like this. But like, you know, like I mentioned, I was knocking on death's door with my weight at one point, and you know, I'm no prize looking now. I'm clearly a fat guy. You know, you guys have a TV where we can see each other on here, and I just been hating myself the entire time. My gosh, but you know, if you love something enough, like I feel like that's what saved me. No matter what chapter of my life that I got saved by wrestling because I loved wrestling. And I got saved from, I also got saved much later in life when I met my wife. My wife, much like wrestling was like, look, you can't do this unless you come to training, unless you come and like, you know, get in shape and work out and practice this to the point where you're safe and do this. Whereas also my wife was, you know, I can't continue with this relationship if I know you're just going to die. Like, what's the point? So I've only ever pushed through and tried to achieve things that I wanted, and like overcame like my own problems when something I really loved was on the line. And the twice that's happened was wrestling and my wife. So if you're at a loss, if you're at a crossroads, if you're at just a dead end, find something to love and love it as much as you can, and everything will follow suit. Trust me. That's one phrase that I love nowadays, and you know, pun intended with I love nowadays. But you know, love is probably my favorite quote ever, because you know, love is love, and love can save lives. So I encourage everyone to go find it and to give it.
Wow, appreciate that, man. I love that. Wow.
Okay,
Thank you. Yeah, see, love works, right?
Yeah. Wow, that was great, man. Yeah, it was a great interview, dude. That was like Isaac said though. I feel like you have a lot more in the tank, especially when it comes to these wrestling stories.
Well, I appreciate that. I think like you know, like I said, I've been doing a podcast for 4 years, so talking on a microphone, I'm very comfortable.
Yeah,
and I'm also comfortable with wrestling fans and friends, and you know, I've always been a social butterfly and an open book. So you know, I thank you for having me. And thank you for the kind words, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, of course, man. Go ahead and plug in your social medias. And you say you got a show as well.
Oh, yes. We got plenty of shows. You got to catch us catch both of us at Empire Wrestling Federation, EWF. I'm also working for 3PWA. Catch me on Instagram at Ron Killbourn. Instagram is probably my bread and butter. That's where I'm at the most. So at Ron Killbourn, check me out. Got lots of stuff on there. You can find all my podcast stuff. The Creative Team. Follow Cole Dawson on there as well. He's my co-host, and you can find the Creative Team podcast at Creative Team Pod at Ron Killbourn, at Creative Tea Pod, at Cole Dawson. I'm trying to hit all. I'm trying to hit all the nails on the head. Go find us all.
I could be a guest, and we could talk more wrestling.
That's right. I'll be back. Hey, you're right down the street.
Exactly, literally right down the street.
Yeah,
man. That's awesome.
Right, yeah.
Hey, well, you appreciate you, Ron. Thank you for stopping by, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for everything that you shared. Even Nugget came up at the end and said
I know,
thank
Nugget
you.
had to come in, man.
And can I just say that like Nugget is like the best name because everything is wrestling. And in the Attitude Era, you know, do you know why Nugget, what Nugget represents as far as wrestling in the Attitude Era?
No.
Well, one final little story and storyline in wrestling that was fun. Back when D-Generation X mocked the Nation of Domination, where they all came out in blackface. They all came out in blackface. They had one guy representing Owen Hart, who was the member of the Nation of Domination, and they called him a nugget. And so Owen Hart's catchphrase from here on then was, "I am not a nugget." So when I met Nugget, my initial thought was, man, everything is wrestling.
Well, y'all.
Well, there you
have it. Wrestling is fun. Y'all can watch it. Watch us wrestle, man. Watch my matches as well, y'all.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys in the next video. We'll see you.